Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 13 of the Ashton Gate 8 with me, Ringo FM. We've gone quite far forward based on where we were last time. Again, we want to get out of the championship, really. You can tell by the league positions, it's maybe not gone quite to plan, and that is more so because I think we brought too many players in. The squad is quite unbalanced. Players have had to get used to playing with each other. We've had to try and figure out who sort of is the best and who fits in. And yeah, it's been a bit of a mess. And you can see that from the schedule. Last time we were with each other on video was the 2-0 win to Coventry. Then we went to beat Southampton in the EFL Cup. Southampton obviously getting promoted last season. Followed up by two disappointing draws, particularly this one, 96th minute win equaliser. Again, we dropped points to Blackburn. We beat Derby quite comfortably, and then I think the loss to Arsenal sort of set us on this bit of a rocky path. A loss to Nottingham Forest, who, despite being a championship team, have got Premier League players all over the pitch, and Roberto De Zerbi is their manager. Look at this team: Hudson-Odoi, Elanga, Braithwaite is definitely not a championship player. Danilo, Dominguez, Nico Williams is knocking around in there. Felipe, Mo Dahoud, Chris Wood, Ola Aina, Niakate, Toffolo, Murillo. They've just got players just oozing out of every single, I can't even describe how frustrating that game was. And then followed it up with a decent draw against West Brom. Again, another late goal. Beaten Stoke. A loss to Fulham, which is nothing to be scoffed at. Fulham are Fulham. They've come down from the Prem, got a lot of good players. And then the form sort of picked up, but a lot of the draws, I feel like we could have won. This game, it was a very silly instant reply from Cardiff in the derby. And 0-0 with Middlesbrough is not bad. Middlesbrough, again, doing quite well. You can see they're up to second in the league. Beating Barnsley, beating Huddersfield. A 1-1 draw with Sunderland. An own goal did it for them, and we had to rescue it. Ronald with his first goal. And then a 0-0 to Millwall. But if you actually look at the match facts for this, we dominated the game. 18 shots, 8 on target, a 2.73 XG, and a disallowed goal. So I'm not too disheartened by that. We do have Blackpool, which we're going to live come really, really quickly. But we need to talk about sort of the state of the squad and what's going on. As I said, I feel it is quite unbalanced. If we look at the squad planner and let's ask Lewis Martins, he's good. So if we ask Lewis Martins to suggest for the current season, he seems to think we've got a lot of defenders. We've got Naimichi Ueda, Juan Pascal Estrada, Chavez, who we are just trying to get rid of. He's on too much. I don't like him. I don't like how he plays. I've played him in a couple of games last season. I played him in a couple of cup games. I don't like him. Then we've got Roberts. Pring is not a centre-back, so he can go off there. Rob Dickey, Kasim Adams, Gabaman's not a centre-back. Hinshelwood's not, McCrory's not, and Lapham. If you look, we've got 2 centre-back spots, and we've got, 7 players who can go into those centre-back spots. So I think Chavez is going to be the first one to go out the door. I don't really mind if he goes for free. He was a free transfer. He's taken up 14.5 grand a week, which is far too much. Kasim Adams, another one. He come in. We thought he was going to be him. We thought he was going to be like the main signing. Why won't this go away? We thought this would be like the main signing, and you will see he's made one appearance. Doesn't really compare, even just looking on this based on what the assistant managers and the coaches think. He's not even above Rob Dickey. So when he was brought in to replace Rob Dickey, he's a bit older than Rob Dickey. Dickey, Roberts, Chavez all ahead of him. I think recently we have been playing Roberts and Dickey as the main 2 centre-backs, and Naimichi Ueda has dropped down to the bench. We've had to sort of go back on what we know and sort of the players that were here last season to try and stop the rot. So Pring, Roberts, Dickey, Horn, Cozy Dewberry and Conway play as much as they can. We have started playing Estrada as a DM rather than centre-back. He's actually very good at it, and if you look at his attributes for a DM, He can pass, he can shoot, he can dribble. He's a good player. He's definitely more of like a ball playing defender, but we don't play with that. So for him being a DM, it means he's a bit higher up the pitch. It means he can use his attributes a bit more. And then Lewis Warrington, who's been absolutely fantastic this season, a 6.81 average rating. They don't think he can improve much more, but I don't mind, I think he's just one of them players that he's just a consistent performer. If you look at his coach report, they don't mention that he's consistent. They actually don't really like him, but he seems to be like the only one who, if you look at his passing, he's not as good in terms of, he doesn't complete as many passes, and that's purely because we play a bit pig ball, but progressive passes per 90 minutes, if you look at them, why, go away. What is it doing? Christ. 5.35 progressive passes. That's 1.43 more than anybody else in the league, and he's not a set piece taker. And I think that's down to his vision, his passing, his flair. I really like Lewis Warrington. So we've changed the tactic up. He is now like the ball within midfield on support. He basically sort of sits around this area and he can ping the balls out wide, ping the balls through to Cannon and Conway, who are both now advanced forwards. And if you look at them, if you look at their average ratings and you look how they're getting on, Tom Cannon is outperforming Tommy Conway, which obviously the whole aim of this save is to sort of get like 8 players through the academy who will win us something and will be in around the first team. Obviously, it's not going to happen straight away, and along the way, we're going to lose people. We're going to have to try and develop people, as we've done, where we've loaned out Raekwon Nelson to Reading. You see, he's gone to Reading and is just smashing it. 6 assists with 7 goals. He's playing fairly regularly. If you look at his attributes, he's getting better. He's a lot quicker now. His long shots have actually gone up. His first touch has gone up by 1. So again, if we can keep him going and keep developing him, then I think Raekwon Nelson will definitely be there in and around. Ronald Jones has also gone out on loan and doing quite well at Gateshead. Charlie Frith, not so well at Oldham. But obviously the idea is there. It's to get the lads first team football and exposure. But someone like Tommy Conway, who he's now worth about 20 million. He's again wanted by Sheffield United. He's again our top goal scorer in the league. He can't really improve much more. I love him. I love him to bits. We don't need to sell, but I think if a silly offer comes in, I mean, he's got like a 17.25 mil release clause, so if Sheffield United want to activate it, then that's entirely up to them, and it's up to Conway whether he wants to come. But he's on about 35 grand a week. We spoke about it last time. I wouldn't want to see him go, but I wouldn't be averse to him going, because I think if we can get the players in that build us up as a force for now and allow us to use the youth development and the youth candidates coming through. I mean, ignore that they're all Ds, it's because he's not finished scouting them fully yet, but you can see in the top right there, whatever reason, it doesn't let me go higher than that anymore. He seems to think it'll be an excellent intake with goalkeepers, a couple of strikers, so we could still get there. But yeah, you will have noticed we've done away with the 4-2-3-1. The 3 lads who were playing attacking midfield, Daniel Maldini, number 1, he's now requested to leave the club, and we said that's fine. His personality was always a bit bad. He feels a bit alienated because he wasn't playing a lot, but we weren't playing the 4-2-3-1 an awful lot, but when we were trying to rotate round. 6.98 average rating isn't to be scoffed at. I think he is a good player. He just doesn't fit in our tactic. He's kicking off a little bit. We can bring him in, sell him on for money, that's fine. Another one in Koya Yuruki has hardly featured, but when he has played, he's done quite well. He's got 2 assists in the 5 appearances he's done so far. Jason Knight, he's really not done much of anything. He's only 23. He's got quite a bit of potential. He's got legs. He's a runner. We may start trying to integrate him in a little bit more, but he's quite happy being a squad player, so he doesn't seem to mind. He's concerned about his playing time, but it is what it is. Gabaman picking up an injury. Hinshelwood, we're just going to let go. I should have stopped that loan deal coming in. He's not really what we needed. He's just another body in the squad. Obviously, Gianfranco Chavez, we spoke about earlier. Kasim Adams will be going. Okonkwo, we're going to try and get a loan deal for. Pele Ruddock is sort of become like a rotation option. 30 years of age, he's not been amazing. Delhi is another one who has kicked off and wants to go, not performed at all, has lost half a star of ability. I don't mind Delhi going. And yeah, I mean, Trott's a backup goalkeeper. He knows that. That's fine. He actually saved a penalty on his debut. So he's done quite well. But yeah, I mean, even someone like Rob Dickey, he's only made 8 appearances for us this season. But when he's come in and he's done well. I think that's the main thing to take from it. He's come in and he's done quite well. Everybody in the starting 11 is basically the ones who are doing the best. Obviously, Ueda's doing better, but Ueda does have 2 goals and 2 assists to his name and has played a lot more than literally double the games Rob Dickey's played. So we'll take that with a pinch of salt for now. So there's a bit of squad building to do in the January transfer window. Trevor Grinsell, we have started giving first team minutes to, a 6.64 average rating, getting better all the time. He comes in as the ball-winning midfielder. We put him on support duty because he's got very good passing, and we let him use that passing. Very, very good player. I think he's going to be the main sort of one in the 8th, the Ashton Gate 8. I think he's got the ability to go all the way. He's already on 15s and 14s for stuff. If we can improve that by 3, 4, you're looking at 17s and 18s. I think he's a very, very, very good player. I don't think he needs agility and balance training, to be honest. His strength will come. Yeah, a very good player. He rotates in. We did actually start him in one game. But he's like the blueprint. He's the type of person we want for the 8. We also did mention a couple of other players who came through. So, yeah, a couple of the other players are the Aslan's now wanted by a couple of teams. He's the mercenary Turkish striker. But, I mean, he's great, you know. I actually think, and at one stage, it looked like we were going to have to bring him in to just sort of provide a bit of cover because we had quite a bit of an injury crisis. He's going to be very good. Again, probably someone we'll probably end up just selling on. Harry Bond is now a homegrown player, so we'll try and keep him around as much as we can. Someone like Tommy Everett, 17 years of age, is not doing any better. The mentor group's not doing much for him. Kyle Yates, another one, unambitious personality, could be a great player if he sorted his personality out. Kenny Doherty is ambitious, but where's he playing? We don't really know. He's mainly playing as a striker, I believe, if we look at his form. Advanced forward, yeah. So I think we need to train him up, really take this off him, make him an advanced forward, and try and turn him into a striker. I don't think he's a striker, to be completely honest. But it is what it is. I've just got a good couple of players knocking around. Rafael Ayore, Arroyo even on loan at Barrow. He's doing well. Couple of players. There's so many. We've got loads, you know. We've got loads. If you look at the current ability of some of the lads in the under-21s as well, you've got Elijah Morrison, who, I mean, we spoke about his pace a couple of episodes ago. He was on, 11 and 11? Elijah Morrison might be pushing for a first team place when he comes back next season. Can even play left back, which is fantastic. Ephraim Yeboah, getting better and better, getting better all the time. Ephraim Yeboah. I'm tempted to just keep loaning him out. He just keeps doing well wherever he goes. He's at Wigan at the minute. 5 goals at Wigan, 6 goals at Barnet last season. Big jump up between Barnet and Wigan. He's doing really well. Obviously, Jones and Frith, you're seeing a Camrich, 19 years of age. He's getting better. Michael Rosiak is still with us. He's training in all different positions. He can play in different positions. You can see he's now a competent right winger, which I think is fantastic. For those of you who haven't seen one of my earlier videos, I did see this one on FM Forum. If you've got a player sort of that you want to train in a certain position and you're not really sure what to do with them and you can't really fit at game time in for him yourself, stick him in your under-21s. So you obviously get like a preliminary squad. You can see he wants Grinsell on the wing. That's just not happening. Palmer Holden is actually a decent striker. So Palmer Holden goes back in there. We have loaned a lot of players out. And Rosiak, who is a natural right back, I think he's more of a winger. I think he's more creative than defensive. So we train Rosiak, we play him there, we train him as a winger and we put him there. Same for Berg. Berg, who is naturally a centre-back, comes from saying he's an enthusiastic centre-back. We always, we always chop and change. He's played a lot as a DM this season. If we look at his form, played a lot as a defensive midfielder and done quite well, to be honest with you. He is a centre-back by trade. He's not tall enough, doesn't have the jumping reach. He's better as a ball winner or a defensive midfielder, so we stick Berg there. And then you've got someone like Kamara, who's not a right back. It's just because I've moved him. We've been training him out on the wing. Another young lad who's coming from Arsenal. and just stick him out on the wing and just keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for that email coming through. But if you can force the players that you want training in certain positions and certain styles into, I mean, like this guy, Jordan Lapham, he's unambitious, but he's doing well. So if you can force them to play in those positions and put them there, do it. Even if you've got a first team player who you want to train up in a certain position, change his training to that position. Put him in the under-21s or the under-18s for 90 minutes every week and just give him a whole season of playing in that, because I guarantee he will get more of playing a full season in your under-18s, in your under-21s, training and playing in the position and role that you want him to play than he will just sort of playing 10 minutes, 15 minutes off your bench and affecting your first team. He might be a bit annoyed, but it makes sense, and it's something we've got to bear in mind for this Ashton Gate 8 series. If we get somebody through who's one position and who should be another one, you just have to force that through. And we've seen that with Doherty. I don't think he's a striker. I think I need to go away and look at that. There's definitely something there with Doherty. It's just where we want to play him. I think he'd probably a bit deeper. If you can sort his tackling out, that'd be great. But again, if you can force him to play, I might even call him up to the under-21s, because I know he will play every single game in a certain position for the under-21s, because we've hardly got anyone. We've loaned them all out. So for argument's sake, we've called up Arda Aslan to the under-21s, as well as Doherty, which means Rosiak can go back to being a right wing-back, which is what he likes playing as. It means Kamara can get game time on the right-hand side, which he likes, and it means we can train Doherty. Out on the left, he's a creative player, Doherty, so if we can train up his crossing, we can make him like a left winger. To say, look, here you go, inverted winger, train up his crossing. He's already got good passing, good vision, comes deep to get the ball, he can tackle. I like him. If we can train him up as a winger, then we can train him up as a centre mid. It gives you an option. It's definitely worth doing if you don't do it in your saves. And Lewis Warrington has developed the tries killer through ball straight. I'm happy with that because we know how good his passing range is. I also want him to start playing it to the flanks if I can find it. Yeah. So we want Lewis Warrington to be the player who he wins the ball in the middle of the park there, he plays it wide, he plays it through, and then that allows sort of Estrada to be like the actual DM. So a recruitment focus has come back for players who we might be able to get on loan, and you can see there's some very good players knocking about. Has Wayne Rooney left Birmingham to go to Fulham? Oh my God. Sorry. Birmingham, he was doing very well with, and he's gone over to Fulham. Wow, okay. Rooney is carving out some mad managerial career. We'll keep an eye on that. But the ongoing focus and the recruitment focuses are updated. You can see what ones we've got. We're looking for loans. We've got the ones with the names. So Ducret, Ward, Vivell, Rucas, McFarlane. That is literally... Why is McFarlane looking for players who can fit in that tactic? That is basically them looking for... It's just the name of the scout, what their recruitment is. We're doing any transfer and loans, ongoing, area any. And it's McFarlane who needs to do it. So this is how I set up my scouts. Don't want people who've turned up on that. And that's it. That's how I do my scouting. If we find... Where's that gone now? We need to rename it again to McFarlane, but we won't bother. But you can see Brendan McFarlane's on it. And then he basically comes back straight away, refreshes, brings up people. This guy, oh my God, he's a monster. Physical monster. Facundo Gonzalez, a proper centre-back, left-footed centre-back as well, which we are lacking, a left-footed centre-back. He basically brings back players who don't show up in our other scouting focuses. And that's how we'll do it. And I literally just refresh it every now and again, just do exactly what you've just seen. So like this guy, Duracet, he's found a lot of players. But if you look at him, Lewis, why can't I see him? Annoying. But he's basically found like a couple of players. Again, another big left-footed centre-back. But if you try and find the actual scout himself, you can see how many scouting reports he's come back with. So you can literally just find, I mean, look, he's been all over. He's been to Brazil, Argentina, Spain, Portugal, the Netherlands. He's been all over. If you look at his reports, click on Scout Reports, you can see how many he's come back with. 33 reports he's come back with for doing the Scout and Focus on his own, which I think is fantastic. Who does he think is going to be the best? He thinks Tommaso Milanese from Cremonese would be our best signing. Failing that, PK, also this guy, he reckons we can get on loan. So the scouting setup works. It's based on the Iron Owl one that I spoke about in previous videos, but it basically just means that they're going to find players, just them. They're not going to look at players that other scouts have looked at for you. They're just going to find, Gastrifelli. He played for Fiorentina, didn't he? He did. Good player. Maybe not what we're looking for just now, but yeah. So the scouting we're looking for pretty much the same thing. People who can come in as like have good current ability, who maybe like in their early 20s. Sometimes, contract wise, I don't mind if they're going into their 30s or whatnot. Future looking players again, 20 to 25. Is there anyone in here? Again, we could probably get Cal Jorge on loan. Can we find anyone who is cheap? Anyone who is kind of undervalued? You got like this guy, like Kevin Jensen, 23, only worth up to 650k. Can you improve him? So it works. It's definitely worth looking at that video by Iron Owl FM. I would recommend it highly. So we've got a goalkeeper here, 1 mil at most. That's fine. We can afford that. If you were looking for someone like that, again, a centre-back here, Simon Gabriel, looks decent, 500k. He won't pop up on anyone else's shortlist or anyone else's scouting assignment. Same for Rekus. He keeps recommending Nduka Jr., and I've really scouted him. He looks like a mad player who can like do a couple of different things. He's a centre-back who's he's a creative centre-back. That's the only way I can describe Nduka Jr. We have tried. Doesn't want to come. We've got like Kevin Mendoza, again, 18 years of age, looking about 550k at most. Look at him. 18-year-old, very creative player. Can play as the Mezzala, can play as a 10. If we were actually going to play as a 10, would he be good enough? It works. It looks like he might even be out of contract, actually. No, he's not. But it works. I'm just trying to prove. I'm trying to prove to you it works. Like, again, this guy from Tacoma looks good. He looks decent for this level. He looks decent. They're basically just trying to find players that other scouts haven't looked at. So you're not just getting 1,000,001 reports on the same player. It's definitely worth trying to set up your scouting like this. And I did say we were going to do a live com against Blackpool, but I've waffled on for nearly 22 minutes. So we're going to get into the game against Blackpool now. Your starting 11 looks very, very similar to what you've already seen. So your starting 11 looks something like this. Cannon and Conway, Tom navigation up front. Absolutely smashing it between them. Utara can only play 75 minutes. Cozy Dubry is now playing out on the left-hand side to accommodate Utara. Estrada, Warrington, Pring, Roberts, Dickey, Kraft. Scott makes the bench. He started scored a couple now. He's only getting better. Scott. Jason Knight, we did say we're going to try and bring into the fold a bit more, so he's coming there. Pelly Ruddock is in there as well. Trevor Grinsell on the bench. Lingbo drops down. Ronald, Scott, Sam Bell, Ueda. And we are not getting stung by it again. We keep a goalkeeper on the bench at all times now. So a player to look out for in the Blackpool lineup is number 15, Mohamed Diamande. I'm sure many Football Manager players know about him. He is the guy who starts off at Northumberland. He's gone to Liverpool in this save and is doing very, very well out on loan at Blackpool. So we need to keep an eye on him. We've seen in the past these 5, basically 6, 7 deep players. We can't really break them down all too well, so we'll have to keep an eye on that today. And, Cozy Dubry gets a corner within 24 seconds of kickoff. Floodlights are bright, bloody hell. This isn't Tangerine shirts, this is Tans. Fuck me. Right, Warrington now. Dickey. That should be the end of it. It's a foul by Joseph. Is that Matteo Joseph? He's out of it is. I think it's Matteo Joseph. He's out of contract at Leeds. We're keeping an eye on him. They've got some mad players. Callum Connolly. Is it Mahand as well? They've got some mad players. Birmingham starting the Wayne Rooney-less era with a win, it looks like. Ball's whipped into the far post with Rob Dickey's underneath it. Lewis Warrington gives it away, and Diamande, this is what we've got to watch out for. He's found... he's given it away. Yeah, we'll have Mahand. Got some good players, haven't they? Emerson plays it backwards. Jacket Potato. There's Jones. Gabriel. Emerson. Through. Blackpool starting on the upper. Oh, Blackpool starting really well. And Salah, do like my hand. Of course, it's his first goal of the season. Why wouldn't it be his first goal of the season? This is Football Manager we're talking about. A bit disappointed in Pring, Roberts, and Estrada there. They didn't really get a foot in. It's their first chance. It's one of them. It does happen. So we'll just give it quick and courage, see how they get on. And again, we just need to retain control. We're good on the ball. We're getting better. We're playing the players who are sort of well-versed, and that's a good ball straight away to Tom Cannon, who's found Tommy Conway. Chance of a strike, and Grimshaw with a big save. So we're playing the players who have been around the club a bit off at sort of the same amount of time. The problem is definitely that we were playing the new players and they weren't gelling. Kraft takes the corner. It's headed away. Estrada with a backwards header. A loss here is not the end of the world. We're obviously 6th in the league. It'll drop us down to 7th. They're playing out from the back, so let's just drop that in there. So it drops us down 1. It's not amazing because we do this quite often. We tend to beat the teams we shouldn't beat and then lose to the teams that we should be easily beaten. As Rob Dickey's getting pulled pillar to post by Joseph here. Luke Mbete. Lions. Mbete again. Jones. There's a lot of space in behind Blackpool here. This is stinking of that Sheffield Wednesday game, you know. The one where Oscar Bob done a number on us. It stinks of that. No, not opposition. Stupid. We want to play higher. There's a lot of space in behind. It'd be very silly of us to play deep while they've got so much space in behind. Unless we are playing long ball, to be fair. But they're basically packing the middle. They're packing this, so they're putting a 4 or 5 across the middle. Obviously, we've only got 2, and it seems to be overrunning Estrada and Warrington at the minute. You see Dango's not performing. Dango he doesn't perform on camera. He's so good off camera, and then I put the camera on and he's crap. There's Rob Dickey, speaking of crap. What's he doing? Gives it away. Blackpool are absolutely doing us here. Just had to text off Domino's. It's 8:55 in the morning, and Domino's have texted me. It's 2 for Tuesdays, though. Gabriel, back to Jones. My God, Warrington. Thank you, Lewis. Jesus. Kraft now through to Tommy Conway, and this is what we wanted. A lot of space in behind, and Tommy Conway's effort saved. I'm going to put them to poachers, so they play on the defenders. They play on the last man, because you can see as an advance forward, it's not quite happening for the pair. As the corner comes in. Let me fucking change it. Jesus. Tom Cannon scores. Tommy Cannon. I love Tom Cannon on this game. He was signed to be back up, really, to Scott, Sam Bell and Conway. But to be completely honest with you, he's far and away been the best striker this season. Far and away. Look at this. It's Warrington's pass to Pring as well. Oh, it's lovely football, you know. And then Tom Cannon with the first time finish. We're back in the game. Here is Roberts, who has signed a new deal. I think the problem is a lot of the players come kicking off knowing that we were giving bigger deals to the newer players. So we get, oh my God, Rob Dickey. Dickey and Dango have not performed at all in this game. Timo Horn holds the ball brilliantly. Dango Utara is going to come off at half time. He has been shockingly bad. Cannon's found Kraft now. Kraft, Conway, Dango Utara goes all the way back to Roberts. Cameron Pring, that is just ambitious. To say the least, it's ambitious. To say the most, it's shite. So here's Gabriel again. Blackpool looking to build. Diamande. And this is what I mentioned before the game. He's done very well. And he nearly sets up a chance. I am going to tell Estrada to my mark, actually. Conway's still struggling. We're not really creating anything. Their midfield and wing-back combo are just... I mean, we're doing well. They've got a lot of the possession, which is fine. We don't mind that. But we're just not doing anything. I think that's the biggest issue, because we're not really doing anything. We don't seem to be coping well. I might start attacking down the left a bit more, because their wing-back seems to be having a bit of an issue with Cozy Dubry and with Cameron Pring. We've gone ahead of Birmingham. They must have conceded. Cozy Dubry with the corner. Swings it across. It's up in the air. Only as far as Utara. That's a good ball back in. Headed back. Dango Utara brings it down. And Dango! I've been waiting to say this. Dango Unchained! I feel like Peter Drury. I feel like I've got to recite a Shakespearean novel whenever somebody scores a tap in. But Dango Utara, his first on-camera goal for the club, was about to come off, but I feel like I can't really do it to him now, because he's taken that goal well, and he won the corner as well. We do need to take charge of this match. Who can come on? There's a few tired legs. We're at that stage of the season where the games are absolutely hammering us down. Tommy Conway is playing okay. Do you know what? Utara is knackered, to be fair. So we will bring them off. Cozy Dubry can go back to his favoured right-hand side. We'll bring Ronald on as the inside forward or inverted winger. Cameron Pring's looking a bit tired. Lingbo is a bit tired as well. Who's the 6.5? Is it Rob Dickey? Yeah, get off, lad. We'll go with that. We'll probably bring Grinsell on in the second half to see if he can do anything himself, because he's a very good player. One thing I didn't mention, and it's just popped into my head when I tried to change the left back there, is that Kessler Hayden actually had his loan cancelled very, very early on by Unai Emery, the slimy pervert. He come to me saying that we weren't playing him in the position that we said he would. And it's because we were playing him left back, not left wing back. And I mean very early on. This was about a month in. We were still in the transfer window. And he came to me, he kicked off, and I said, well, I think he's playing enough. And he literally just recalled him instantly. And then he went along to Derby. So there's that. It's a good ball in. It's headed away. Knock back across. Tom Cannon's there again! Tom Cannon! The artillery has arrived! Sorry, I'm in full Peter Drury Road. But yeah, so we lost him, but we did get Ian Matson in on a free loan from Chelsea. And in true Ian Matson fashion, his legs have fallen off and he's been injured for about 3 months. So there's that. I think this is a great game to get Trevor Grinsell some game time. Estrada is on his last. Tommy Conway we'll bring off. We'll give to Scott some game time. Estrada, you are knackered. So Warrington can come across as the DM. Estrada off, Trevor Grinsell on. Pring is quite tired. Cozy Dewberry, can he come off? We can put Sam Bell. We'll put Sam Bell on the left and Ronald on the right. Ronald's a really strange player. He's a proper out-and-out winger. Like, he will run. He will run at people. I've seen him terrify some defenders on this. But he's so inconsistent to the point where he doesn't really create anything. He doesn't really score. He doesn't really assist. He's kind of like Saint-Maximin in that period for Newcastle, where he just ran at people and scared them a little bit. And like the ball would fall to somebody else and then they would get it. So I like him. I do like him. He adds something a bit different to what we've got up front, on the wings, I should say. But he doesn't really do anything. That is a fantastic ball through. Oh my God, that pass by Joseph was fantastic. Look at this pass. Sometimes you've just got to put your hands up and say, what can I do with that? What a ball from Joseph. And Ulad Mahand, who hadn't scored before today's game, has now scored 2. Just football manager things, really, isn't it? Cameron Pring with the throw-in. Tom Cannon on a hat-trick to Roberts. Ueda. Kraft. Down the line to Ronald. And this is what I'm on about here. Run at his man and get it in! And Anthony to Scott! Yes! Anthony to Scott. Assisted by Ronald. He heard me. He heard me. His English lessons are going well, Ronald. He heard what I was saying. He takes it in his stride. He turns his man, ball onto the floor. And Anthony to Scott with his second of the season. A player who we're treating as a Moneyball signing. I don't like using the term Moneyball. We're not playing Moneyball. But young, potential, quite raw, can be moulded, is there or thereabouts, is starting to get better and is now starting to score goals. And you saw there his movement. He done more than Tommy Conway did in this match, and that's all I'm saying. January's coming up, Tommy. It's Sam Bell. Trevor Grinsell, that is a fantastic ball, and Tom Cannon on a hat-trick. It's a good tackle by Jones. Trevor Grinsell is going to be some boy. The Irish should be hoping he doesn't do a Declan Rice and or a Jackie Grealish and declare for England. My hand has been fantastic in this game. I've just got to hold my hands up. Do you know what? We decided to attack Gabriel out on the left, and if you look above my big fat Chrome Dome, he's on a 6.1. So we did the right thing attacking the left-hand side. He's still out there. Shocking decision from the Blackpool manager to keep him out there. There's Jones now with a deep free kick. Goes to Gabriel. We're going to close him down. He's flapped it. Gone back to Grimshaw. And Bette, intercepted by Emil Kraft. He's got Ronald ahead of him. He's got people in the middle. He's gone short to Warrington. Out to Cameron Pring, who's hit it low! What a finish from Cameron Pring! A fantastic finish from the left back. That is class. It's class from Kraft in the first place. Look at this. Runs through, finds Warrington, his second assist of the game. What a strike from Cameron Pring. Bottom corner. Blackpool 2, Bristol City 5. A convincing result when it looked at the start of the game like it might be one of those days. Thankfully, it wasn't. I'm going to have to see who that Joseph is for Blackpool. If it's Matteo Joseph, I'm going to take a punt on him because I have been scouting him anyway. But that assist he got was... Kraft again. Emil Kraft! Oh my God, it's Roberto Carlos. And Trevor Grinsell with a clever foul, stops them building up and takes his booking. He actually didn't get booked for that. That is surprising because that is a professional foul. Love a professional foul. Diamande to Mbete. Jones. Gabriel. Back to Turns. Cameron Pring intercepts. And Turns has had to turn. Good tackle by Noben. Roberts. Pring to Bell. Tom Cannon slips it through to Scott. Is it again? Oh, Anthony to Scott. He's buried it again. He is going to be some boy, you know. I think it's lucky the way it gets through. It really is. Bell's ball, or Cannon gets fouled, but it comes through to the Scott, and that is not an easy finish. It's through the legs of Grimshaw. There's not an easy finish from the Belgian, but he's settling. He's definitely settling in now. That's his third goal in his last 5 games. They've gone out to Gabriel again. This poor lad is getting abused. It's Joseph. And Joseph nearly scores. Kraft has to make the block. I think it is Mateo Joseph. That's an interesting one. Can't beat the eyes test. Diamande. Gabriel. He would never pass an eyes test. He's crap. Warrington. Ball out to Kraft. They're a man down still. Emerson's still off the pitch. I don't know why they've shown that highlight. I think they just wanted to show Gabriel doing absolutely fuck all again. Poor fella. Kraft with the throw. Tom Cannon. Ronald. Good football. Trevor Grinsell. Kraft. He might have a go. Or headed away and cleared. And it's game over. It's a convincing victory, all things considered. When we went behind, I was quite concerned, I'm not going to lie to you. But I worked my magic. I tinkered. The Scott. It puts us up to 4th. We looked like we were going to drop off at some point. I thought Middlesbrough and Leeds would end up running away with it. But it looks like we're still there or thereabouts. Goal difference is better than everyone apart from the top 2. So we're doing quite well. Yeah, a good result. I think that's a good result. Blackpool. Who is it? Is it Mateo Joseph? It's Kyle Joseph. Who they got from Oxford? Nah. Yeboah didn't do well. The Scott, give an arm round. Come here, son. Superb in front of goal. We'll just have a little look at Anthony De Scott, who he's never had like the upwards, like the upward chevrons, whatever you call it, and his determination still hasn't changed. But he has just been brilliant, just consistently brilliant when he's played. 6.87 now. He's got 2 goals and an assist in his last 5 games. He's starting to show the form that he was showing in the Eredivisie. I think a full season and he'd be good. That just needs his determination to go. He is in the mentoring group. It's just not quite there, but you can see he's got a lot of room to grow. And if he does grow into his potential, he would be an absolutely fantastic player. He really, really would. And yeah, that's it. I'm just going to show you Mateo Joseph actually because I've mentioned him 1,001 times. Is he still in there under 21s? Here we go. Mateo Joseph, 21 years of age. He's now English. He's not really. He's Spanish, isn't he? Yeah. So Mateo Joseph, a tall-ish player. Poacher. We do like a poacher. Great composure, great off the ball, good heading, good jumping, good finishing, good first touch. He's out of contract in the summer. We're keeping an eye on him. I think he's that type of player. We're talking about like undervalued and players who've performed elsewhere. A 6.71 is an average. It's average, but you got to forget he was quite young then. So the data's there to suggest there's something there, and that's what we did when we signed Anthony De Scott. We used the data that the game provided to us to say, do you know what? There's something about this kid who 2.5 stars means he's okay. Look, fairly good rating for the senior team. People forget that. People think 2 stars. No, don't want him. 2 stars actually means he's there or thereabouts, to be honest with you. So 2.5 stars by me does me. So we're going to leave that there then. We've got a lot of games left to play. We did mention in the last video that we're not bothered about showing transfer windows and whatnot, and that I find it quite boring. But we did get a comment from channel viewer, long-term channel viewer, who has found the series and is quite happy with it. So he's a Bristol fan as well. So I think we're gonna yeah, we're gonna do the transfer window. I was thinking about it. I was thinking, nah, I'm not going to do that. But we are going to do the transfer window. It's Nick. Apologies, Nick. I was looking at your YouTube name. It's Monkey something. But yeah, we're going to do the transfer window just for you, Nick Stone. We're going to do it just for you, my friend. So we're going to leave that there. I'm going to come back for January 1st, where we're going to try and ship out, obviously, the likes of Delhi and whatnot. And we'll try and play a couple of games. Maybe we'll do the whole of January and I'll do a 3-hour video. But we're going to leave that there. Thank you very, very much for watching. Much appreciated as always. The wheels are turning. The Robins are flying. We're getting up there. Cameron Pringer's got 7 assists and 3 goals this season. Holy moly. Cracking play. He's the type of person we'll probably look to move on and improve on because he's not going to get much better. So watch this space. Well, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Take care.